Hello and welcome to episode 300 of the Casual Try Hard podcast.
Yeah, 300 is a big one.
It is.
We're
I'm
back.
Brian.
And I'm James.
Yeah, we are back. I got the green screen behind me.
Yeah.
We are
No more
back
hotel
from the
room.
hotel. No more hotel room.
Yeah.
Internet in the house mostly works.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. So we are back to talk about some goings on with arena releases, and then we're gonna talk about some foundation stuff, rules, and then go through some cards maybe.
Yeah, we'll get through some cards. We're definitely not going to get through all of them. And we're trying a little bit different format for our card by card reviews or whatever you want to call them. So we'll see how this works out. But yeah, glad to be back.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no more interruptions. We still may have to figure out our scheduling a little bit here coming up, but we'll get through it.
New jobs, new setups.
That's right. Yep.
So if you want to reach out to us on social media and tell us how happy you are that we're back, you can find all that stuff, Discord, Twitter, X, email, all in the description. Check the link, and the links are all there. I'm thinking about moving us to Blue Sky.
Oh yeah,
like
instead of X.
We could like keep both presences, or we could just migrate to one.
Yeah.
But it seems like there is a big exodus to Blue Sky.
Okay.
Like I think they got like 20 million users in like the course of like a week and a half.
Okay.
So, and I know I think like Pleasant Kenobi is like moving there full time.
Oh.
Saffron Olive is like going there, but keeping his other stuff. Like I wouldn't have to get rid of the Twitters, but we might dabble in the Blue Skies.
Okay. Well, I think the current number of social medias I have is plenty, so I don't know if I'll be hanging out on Blue Sky, but let me know. Know how it is over there.
Will do.
Yeah, like Brian said, if you want to get a hold of us, tell us all the stuff we missed, because I don't think either of us have been super checked in for the last month or so. Tell us what you're excited for, what you want to hear us talk about, any cool new brews that are floating around, because I know you haven't done hardly anything with foundations, and I haven't done much, so if there's anything you want us to talk about or think that we should know about, like Brian said, all those links are down below. If you're looking to support the show, there's a couple ways you can do it. First is with our TCG player affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Surf on over there with that link, do your shopping, anything you purchase will help to support the show. We were just talking in the pre-show that Brian's going to be doing some TCG player shopping coming up, and I know he's going to use our link, so you guys should use it too. Speaking of the pre-show, if you want access to that, it's about another hour-ish of content out of us every week. And our patrons have access to it. Patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, you get access to our show notes. You get access to the unshow, sorry, not pre-show. We changed the name. You get access to that. You get to hear all about Brian's moving adventures. Before
it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. Before the show goes live every week, we are old and our equipment sometimes breaks itself without any outside input, and we need some time to figure it out. So that's what the unshow's for. Plus, now we live half a country apart, so our catch-up time is also during the unshow. If you want access to any of that, just want to hear more of us, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, support the show, and get some more content.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. We have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. First up, I guess it was news yesterday that they are starting to spoil and releasing on December 10th, I think, Pioneer Masters, which should get us very close to actual Pioneer on Arena.
Yeah, so I didn't even know Silence was in Pioneer, but
Silence was M14, I think.
Yeah. Um, so this is good because it will like end the kind of split between Explorer and Pioneer.
Yeah.
And like will like instead of there kind of being like, you know, you know, 1.5 formats that are like that like age,
Right.
you'll just have like kind of one effectively unified format.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be easier for them to like make additions if, you know, let's say some card that they don't put in Pioneer Masters in 2 years ends up being
Pops off or whatever, and
ends up being played a lot. Like it's way easier to put in one card than it is to put in 300 or whatever.
yeah.
So that'll be good. Like this might also do a lot for Pioneer,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
right? Because you've had people that there are more people on Arena than there are on Magic Online
Oh yeah, by a lot.
and at like LGSs,
Yep.
right? So giving them like another real format other than the standard
Mm-hmm.
could be good to like increase the popularity. Like, hey, I'm playing Pioneer on Arena.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Pioneer tournament that someone's told me about. I know that format. I can go play it. I ain't scared.
For sure.
Where like, hey, I've been playing Explorer. Oh, but I don't know how you play against Lotus Field.
Right.
That's not a deck I've ever had to play before or play against before.
Yep.
Or like, ooh, I want to play Lotus Field, but I can't because they like brick walled Hidden Strings from me.
Yep. Not anymore. Hidden Strings is official in this, so
Officially in it.
we also have Glade Cover Scout for Boggles and Bring to Light. I think are the heavy hitters out of what's been spoiled already. JVP, I guess.
Yeah, Tassiger goes in some like Neoform combo decks.
Yeah.
But like at least the cards that they have spoiled. Of the cards they have spoiled, there are like it's like maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah, something like
There's
that.
like 1, 2, 3, like 4, definitely 4 of them. So, you know, a third of them are cards that actually see play in Pioneer.
Yeah, I mean, Urborg's pretty big.
Oh yeah, Urborg. I don't think I counted Urborg, so I might not have. So yeah, so like 5.
Yeah.
So there's at least this batch of cards. It isn't like a bunch of just nonsense.
Right.
Right. Like there's gonna be nonsense in there because they're realistically, I think they're only missing like 50 to 70 cards.
Yeah.
Like not enough for a set.
Right. No, I'm sure that they're going to use this opportunity to put stuff on that matters for like Brawl players or whatever also, not just for Pioneer cards, but
how long till PK does a Hornet Nest video on Arena?
my guess would be almost instantly.
Yes, like this is how we know PK.
Yep. That was his first big hit, right?
Yeah.
Was the Hornet Nest?
Because like I remember Cameron sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. But yeah, he does not edit like that anymore.
No.
Like that as someone who has edited video, that edit took a long time.
Yep, not interested, thank you.
Not interested, thank you very much. But like Glade Cover Scout now makes Boggles a deck that like you can play on Arena, where like it was very difficult, if not impossible, to play Boggles.
Right.
Like you have now Hidden Strings for Lotus Field, so like you get like kind of the big and the fringy decks are going to be there, so that's good. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I've been kicking around Boggles ever since, or at least the idea of Boggles, ever since they printed Sheltered by Ghosts.
Yeah.
So like, and they printed another one that's like 3 mana and does like the same thing.
Yep.
Like they're just like, here are 2 Oblivion rings that go on. Enjoy. Like eggs meet very, 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 very big basket. if this basket breaks, you are done. But yeah, like I think it's good, and like I said, hopefully it allows them to keep up with the format as like things. But I also think you're gonna find that there's like not gonna like these cards are gonna kind of slowly work their way out of being played as like, you know, as the crush of power creep gets to them.
Right.
Right. Like, you know, if I told you next set they had like a 1/3 Sylvan Carry added,
Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
you'd be like, okay, same text, but it's a 1/3.
Yep.
Yeah, or like it doesn't have defender.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so it's just a Bogle? Yes, it's just a Bogle.
Perfect.
It also that fixes your mana.
Yep.
Okay. Right? So, you know, there are some things like I say that, but like they like Glade Cover Scout is like a card that they're like, that was probably not a good thing to ever print.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like I could see them not going back to that well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it'd be good.
One more weird thing about Pioneer Masters is, you know how Wizards loves their bonus sheets now. Evidently, I forget how long it said the rotation was going to be, but evidently, while this is a draftable format on Arena, they're going to be cycling through 3 different bonus sheets. So, like, I don't know if the bonus sheets are going to be strictly Pioneer Masters cards, or if there are things that are going to be like put in there for Brawl or Historic or Timeless or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be Pioneer legal, but I think this set will be draftable for 6 weeks until like whatever the next one is. I think so. I think each bonus sheet is 2 weeks.
Yes, so it's Planeswalkers December 10th to the 24th.
Okay.
And then on Christmas Eve, you transition from Planeswalkers to Spells.
Okay.
That's the 24th to January 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Devotion January 7th to the 21st.
Okay.
So, yeah, like, and so they did this with Innistrad Remastered.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or like the Shadows of Innistrad like remaster where they rotated through different.
Yeah, like Snapcaster was in at one point.
And then like Sever the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Which I drafted too much. But like it does do a good job of like changing the format, like, cause it's probably gonna be like 30, 40, 50 cards, like enough.
Yeah.
Cause like I drafted some like sick decks with like Sever the Bloodline, just like these like ridiculous. I think we Sever the Bloodline, like the like 4 mana removal spell, and then you like pay 7 to flash it back.
Yeah.
And just like grinding people to dust, and then the card went away, and like those decks were not nearly as good. And I was like, oh, like I had a deck I drafted, and then you took it from me. But yeah, like so it will like change up the format pretty substantially. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
With like each like rotation. So like if there's an iteration of it, if you're like, oh, I don't like the Planeswalker version,
wait a couple
weeks, and then come back and try it and see if you like the Spells version, because it will play differently.
Yep.
Yeah, like.
Oh, go ahead.
I am really excited to have like full Pioneer, because like I feel like until they print like Pioneer Horizon,
right, which you know is coming at some point.
Yeah, it has to. Like Pioneer is the format I'm like most interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Super Big Standard will get this hooks into me eventually.
Yeah.
But like Pioneer is like, I just play Explorer because it's the closest thing I can find to like Pioneer.
Right. And
so like I'm going to enjoy having that as like a thing.
Getting your analog. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it is the closest version. Like it is probably the purest. Oh, okay. I guess until Final Fantasy comes out, the purest like Magic format.
Yeah.
That there is. Like, there's no like nonsense Horizons cards, nonsense Universes Beyond. It's just like
right Magic
cards.
Yep.
and then I'm gonna have to put a Buster Sword on like an Autobot in a year and be like, oh,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's gonna be carrying the Buster Sword.
Yep.
So it's gonna be great.
Can't wait. Next up we have, I don't think we talked about this, but we have a rules change for Foundations in the way combat damage is assigned. The new rule is that damage and the damage will be assigned and it happens all at the same time, instead of like the defender like picking the blocks, like ordering the blockers. That goes away, and instead of that, the defender will assign the damage to the defenders, and then it happens. So this is weird, and it like basically nerfs every combat trick ever printed, right?
Yeah. So I'm reading the rules now. So before you would like order blockers,
right?
For like, I'm gonna like deal you this much damage, you this much damage. Like I'm gonna deal however much damage to the first creature, then the second creature.
Yeah.
Right. And then your opponent or the blocker had priority. Well, you had priority, and then they had priority to play like a combat trick.
Yep.
Right. Now it's just gonna be block. You're gonna pass the priority for assigning for combat tricks effectively.
Yep.
And then the attacker is going to say, I'm going to deal this much damage to this one and this much damage to this one.
Yeah.
So like you don't know what order they're putting, how they're dealing their damage anymore.
Well,
until they deal it.
That's kind of two different rules changes in one though, because the way it used to work, you would just order the blocks. And then it would deal damage until the thing died, and then it would go to the next one and deal damage to the thing died, and then if it had trample, it would trample over.
But you could assign all of your damage to one of the creatures. So if you blocked with, like, if your example of like you have a 5/5 and 2 1/1s.
Yeah.
Let's say one of the 1/1s was recursive.
Okay.
Right. You could, the first one that you blocked, you could say, I'm going to deal all 5 damage to this first creature.
Okay. That was something that we could do already?
You could do that already.
Okay.
Now, if you had trample, you had to kill everything.
Yeah.
And then it would go over.
Okay.
But let's say, I'm trying to think of a creature that would be like valuable in, right. Vengeful Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Right. Like you could, like, if you double blocked with the Vengeful Pharaoh, they could kill the not Vengeful Pharaoh and not allow it to go into your graveyard.
Gotcha.
So, but like with trample, you were right. You had to kill everything before you could trample over.
Yep.
But like the big thing is just like, right. So if you had if they had a 4/4 and you blocked with 2 2/2s, right? They'd be like, I'm gonna deal your Grizzly Bear 2 damage and your random other 2/2. I don't know. Your Grey Ogre 2 damage. And then the blocker could say giant growth on my Grizzly Bear. Grizzly Bear can now take 5.
Yep.
Now nothing dies. Now what happens is you can pick the one to survive. But they can then kill the other one. Basically, they can, in kind of like old terminology, they can reorder who gets the damage.
Yeah.
Like basically now, after everything is done, you get to decide how you deal your damage.
Yep.
So if you were planning on killing that grizzly bear, and they do a giant growth on it, you can just be like, oh, I don't get to kill the grizzly bear, I get to kill the other thing. As opposed to both things surviving. So it is like a huge like nerf for combat tricks because it used to be, right, you could use your combat trick and you would trade your trick for their like blocker,
right?
But now you're trading your trick and the creature and one of the 2 creatures that blocked for their creature,
right?
So like now, like, you're getting a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Are you getting 2 for 1?
You're getting 2 for 1.
like how much does this impact like one of the like fundamental rules of Magic, or one, it used to be that Magic blockers were always advantaged,
Right.
right? Like when you attacked, you were like at disadvantage because the blocker always got like last action
Hmm.
to some degree, and right, like knew how you wanted to deal your damage.
Yeah.
And like I guess that like narrows that gap.
Oh, it I think almost completely gets rid of that gap.
So
Supposedly, this is the way everybody did it anyway. That was their like logic for making this change. It's more intuitive, and everybody did it this way anyway.
um I I think this is a reflection of the easing of the rules overall.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that like at our LGS we would block and be like, I'm gonna order the blockers this way.
100%.
Like they would double block and be like, this first, then this.
Yep.
This is how I'm ordering the blocker.
Yep.
Right. And and like yeah, so I'm guessing this is kind of like the same with like the rewind rules and stuff,
Hmm.
where they're just like
Make it easier for new players. Whatever.
yeah, I think that's 100%
Less punishing for new players, I guess.
Yeah, or like I understand the like, okay, you do everything and then you assign your damage,
Hmm.
and it's like yeah, but like if everyone was doing it that way, they were doing it incorrectly. And like I guess I understand like, well, if everyone in air quotes is doing it this way, then fine, we'll make it that way. But like who is this everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
Right,
where that data point comes from.
because on Arena you ordered blockers.
Right. Well, so what's weird now is we've been talking about like designing cards for Arena and how they prioritize like making less clicks.
This is one less click.
No, this is more clicks.
It is?
Have you played Arena lately?
I have not fired up Arena in like 2 weeks.
Okay, so after this went live, when you're in combat and somebody like double blocks you, like 3 little like numbers will pop up, one over each creature and then one over your opponent, and it makes you like assign how many points of damage. So it's not just that it's like they start at 0, so it's not just that it's 1 or 2 more clicks. Like if you're attacking with a 5/5, that's like 5 points of damage you have to assign. And then if I'm remembering correctly, the one over like your opponent there would be like grayed out unless the creature has trample.
Gotcha.
But like you have to actually assign the points of damage.
Weird.
Yeah, so they not just shortcutting like 1 or 2 clicks, they just added like a bunch of clicks.
Yeah, that's like it doesn't seem like that is that hard of a thing to teach. So like I don't understand like everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they? Are everybody doing it?
I mean, I don't know how different our like Magic experience was than other places though. Like I know our store was uncommonly competitive. Like back in the day.
Yes.
Even more so than like a lot of stores that I would consider competitive. Like our store was hyper competitive. So maybe us like taking that for granted is just kind of a function of like how we played Magic at our LGS.
Yeah.
So, but you guys let us know. Like if that's the way you guys, like, I'm genuinely interested if that's the way you guys have always been doing it. Let me know. That like the way it's being moved to seems unintuitive to me, whereas the way they had done it in the past was very intuitive.
Yeah. So speaking of changes real quick, did you get the email to do the like customer survey?
Last week or the week before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can't say too much because we did have it. We did click an NDA button. At
Oh,
least I did.
sure, yeah.
Sure, but it's like, they're like, what do you think of these? It's like, I don't think you can reskin cards any more than you've already reskinned them. But thank you.
I didn't. I must have had a completely different survey than you.
Mine was like, it was like whatever, some stuff.
Mhm.
Let's say, what were those? What were the cards from like times color shifted?
Yeah.
Like color shifting some stuff, and then just like all these like great big borderless full art
Oh, I didn't have any of
frames,
that.
and I was just like, they're like, here's this little blurb, and here are some like potential card arts. Does this make you want to buy this? It does not.
No, I didn't have any of that in my survey.
Like, what? Why not? Well, you see. So mine was like a new product survey.
No, mine was what was mine? But more like a state of the game kind of thing.
Oh no, mine was like, hey, like, how do you feel about like these as possible new sets, or like a new or like, you know, a theme for a set?
I didn't have any of that. Maybe it's like you answered your questions differently than I did, so it gave you different ones.
Maybe. But yeah, I was like, no, there's too many sets. Like, I cannot pay attention to all of these things.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do some foundations.
Yeah.
Cards.
Couple jumpstart cards to start off with here. The first one is Dionys Elvish Archdruid. It's 3 and a green for a 3/3 legendary elf druid. And it has elves you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untap it and put a +1/+1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Yes.
This seems really good with like Heritage Druid. Heritage Druid. Yeah, Elvish Archdruid.
Like doubles up your mana,
yeah,
and makes all your elves huge.
Or Marwyn.
Oh yeah, that like would increase the amount of mana.
Yeah.
Because it puts a counter on it.
Yep.
And like four mana in, like my first thought was like 4 mana, but like,
it's elves.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it really lets you like get a ton of mana.
Yeah.
It's awkward that like I don't think there's any way you could like use the ability on turn 2. Right?
Probably
like,
not.
You know, but like on turn 3, where like you go like elf into like elf priest of Titania, and then on turn 3 you like play this, and then you like get to tap your priest of Titania twice.
Yeah.
And just like play a Crater Hoof or play an Azuri and like activate it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, getting to tap all your elves twice is like super dangerous.
Yes.
And like with, you know, like Nettle Cyst, you like tap them, and then you play this, and they untap.
Yeah.
And then you get to tap them and this, and then you trigger the untap ability. Now and you've got 3 mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the like idiot templating that they had with
Nadu.
Nadu.
Yeah.
Where like they're giving
each creature gets it. So it's like the ability overall happens like more than once per turn, but it's only 1 instance per creature.
Yes. Like each creature only gets to untap with his ability once.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the way it's worded is just like.
But I mean, it's also bonkers with like Wirewood, right?
Oh yeah.
Bounce an elf, play it, tap, untap, because it resets this. So it. Yeah, seems kind of nutty. Yeah. We'll see if it actually does anything, but I would say there's potential there.
Yeah, we need to get back to like combo elves as opposed to like
beat down elves.
What's this? Beat down elves, or like Fiend, Artisan, Elves, whatever
Yeah.
it's. Oh, what is his name? Whatever the Magic Online like player is, it like was the Elves pilot, and now like Elves is just like a green black mid range pile.
Yeah.
It's like this is almost Dead Guy Ale.
Creeping up there. Another green card here. This is Scythe Cat Cub. 1 and a green for a 2/2 cat with trample. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, double the number of +1/+1 counters on that creature instead.
I mean, in Death Shadow. So like, okay. So there was a brief time where like Death Shadow was the best deck in Modern.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, oh gosh, what is that white landfall cat? The 1 mana one?
The Scythe Leopard?
No, I thought
Or
Scythe Leopard
Steplinks.
Steplinks.
Yeah.
So like it played like Steplinks, played, there was like another like aggressive landfall creature, or like maybe it was like not Wild Nicole. It played like a bunch of like small aggressive creatures.
Mm.
And there's like you could see like there's enough like just random landfall stuff that's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like in so this would have to work in Legacy, but like that deck has like there's been landfall decks that like float around Legacy from time to time.
Sure, there's been zoo decks in Legacy.
Yeah, like like step links into this, and then like next turn like fetch land, and you just deal like what? Like this could become like a 6/6, and step links would become a 5/6 or a 4/6 or something.
Yeah, that's not exactly where my mind went when I saw this.
Okay.
I was thinking more like Walking Ballista shenanigans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because like this doesn't have to get the counter. You put the counter on any creature, and then like if it's your second land, you double the counters on that creature.
So if you have like counters on like anything.
Yeah.
Like it's sad that like there's like this card, though powerful, feels like it could have been fine in Pioneer.
I don't know about Pioneer. It probably would have been fine in Pioneer. I think this is Modern power level though.
Yeah. Like I was just thinking like there's like the Conclave Mentor, the Botanical Brawler, Hardened Scales, like this like would kind of fit nicely in
that package, yeah.
That kind of thing where you're some sort of like green, white, like aggressive landfall like deck.
Yeah.
Like seems reasonable, and I mean it still like dies to Fatal Push.
Right.
Dies to cut down some portion of the time.
At least till it gets his first counter.
Yeah, like there's a window where you could like in theory interact with it, right? You have up your black, they play this, and then they play their land, and you like kill it in response to the trigger. It's awkward though.
I mean, this is also this is kind of nuts with Hardened Scales though.
Yeah, because you get like 2, so you go to 4, and then you double it,
that,
and it would you get 2 counters, and then you would get 3 counters because you get that many counters plus 1.
Yeah.
Right. So you go 1 + 1 to get to 2.
Yep.
And then 2 + 1 to get to 5.
Yeah. So it's a 7/7 on turn 3.
If you have like Evolving Wilds or Fatal Passage or whatever.
Or Fetch Land.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like in Modern, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it feels like it could do like it's definitely Modern power level. Modern is just like a bonkers format. Like,
right.
Nothing's real. And then like Pioneer it could work. But the problem is like where it's legal, is it good enough?
Yeah, in Legacy, right, probably not.
In Commander, probably not as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you only cared about like the second line of text, the like when this happens the second time, right? You're playing some +1/+1 doubling season
Yeah.
nonsense, and you're like, you play this, you put a counter on your thing, and then like you like put 40 counters on it because you double the number of counters on it, and then you kill the table or whatever.
Yeah.
Your Walking Ballista example.
Yeah.
Walking Ballista for x equals 3. I guess I will put 17 counters on it, and then I will play 2 lands, and I will kill everyone.
Yeah. I mean, like, how many counters do you have to have on a ballista to just, like, kill somebody?
9. So, like, you go from 9 to 10.
And then double that is 21.
Yeah, it would be 20.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a hardened scales out, like, x equals 2 gets you to 4. Gets you to 3. And or like if you went like turn 1 hardened scales, turn 2 ballista, you have 1 counter.
No, you'd have 2
this,
counters.
Oh, 2. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. Then this
Fetch.
Play a land. Yeah, fetch land, play a land, you would get to 4 counters. And then you'd end up with 9.
Yeah. And then
so you'd have a 9.
One more land drop.
Yeah. And you know, I guess I forgot like you could attack. Right,
sure.
You attack with a 9/9.
Yeah.
On turn 3, like that would be, like, that is fair and normal for like modern, but strangely probably too slow for legacy.
Yeah.
What
about like I mean, do the post decks play ballista still?
I don't know. They might. I haven't looked at like pet deck equal cloud post in a long time. Let me see. What do we have for? When is this cloud post? Oh, this is from November. 3 spirit guides, 4 sowing microspawns, an Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, 1 Emrakul, 2 Karn the Great Piece of Trash. They do not have Ballista. They get to play Kozilek's Command.
Okay.
Oh my god. I hate Modern Horizons so much. So, okay. Cloud Post. A deck that's been around for eons. It's been B- for equal number of eons.
Yep.
Right. Used to play... what's his name? Primetime, and then like Big Eldrazi. It now plays 4 Sowing Microspawn, Modern Horizons 2. 4 Kozilek's Command, Modern Horizons 2. 4 Vexing Baubles, Modern Horizons 2. 3 Disruptor Flute, Modern Horizons 2. 4 The One Ring, Modern Horizons 2.5.
Yeah.
Checks. And yep, that is it. Though it does get to I should have bought those. It does get to play 4 Planar Nexus. It plays 4 Planar Nexus and 4 Urza's Towers. Because since Planar Nexus is all land types, it's an Urza's Mine and an Urza's Power Plant.
Yeah.
So your tower gets to tap for
3.
For 3.
It's kind of cute though.
It is. I like that. And is it 1 Walking Ballista in the sideboard?
Okay.
for Karn the Great Piece of Trash. And are there more Modern Horizons cards I can complain about? Okay, Modern Horizons 2 with Force of Vigor. But yeah. Also, like, I don't know. The universes beyond like Ensnaring Bridge, it was like we had perfect art.
Right.
Why did we need to do this?
I don't know.
Anyway. That's sad.
Yeah.
That is a sad state of affairs. But sadly, no, we don't get to Scythe Leopard or whatever this thing is.
I thought it was a cool card though.
No, I agree.
I could
Like,
see
I
it
think
doing
is
something
neat.
at some point. The other card that kind of jumped out at me when I was thinking about that card, I think it's too. I mean, it's definitely too slow for Legacy, and it would probably require another piece. But there are creatures that care about +1/+1 counters, like Sage of Hours.
Oh yeah, where you just like get to
Take a bunch of turns.
like that to me is Pioneer power level.
Yeah.
Right? Where like it's a fiddly creature combo that like is pretty easy to break up, but like you get to live the dream and do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get that because
Well,
we are
I think you need fetches for this card to be powerful though, because I don't think you can afford to take off a turn to have a come into play tap land as your like, you know what I mean, to trigger landfall twice.
Yeah.
So I think like modern is kind of the limit of where this card would be playable, and I definitely think this is not quite at modern power level. So maybe it'll catch a reprint at some point and be in modern.
Yeah. Oh man, I just have to take a quick break here. I got rid of my Ulamogs when they were like $50, $60, $70 a piece.
Yeah.
They're $22 now.
Good call.
Yeah, like I got rid of them. Yeah. Let's see here. They were. Boop. Let's look at tabletop real quick. Yeah, I got rid of them around 50.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Good job, me. Stonks.
So move on to some single card stuff.
Sure.
We got probably another 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
So I'm just bringing up the card file here. We're gonna kind of do this live. We'll see how well it works.
Okay.
Starting in white. I don't think there was too much white that super jumped out at me. Do you want to talk about cats?
Meow. Sure.
Work. It's not. It's this way.
We got like the first cat. Arhabo.
That is
the first thing.
That is the one that I was pulling up. Go.
So he's a big boy. So it's a 3-mana 2/2. Other cats get +1/+1, and whenever it or another non-token cat you control enters, create a 1/1 white a cat creature. So this makes it's a 3-mana that's a 2/2 that makes a 2/2.
Yes.
Effectively.
Yep.
And then we've got what is Prideful Parent that is a 2/2 that makes a 1/1.
Yeah.
3 mana.
We also have a Cat Elvish Visionary.
Yes. And then was it M20 where they like tried to push cats as well?
Yeah.
Like there was it was like green and white were the cat colors.
Yeah, there was like Pride Sovereign or something was a cat lord.
Yeah, that like, and then wasn't there one that like was that in Amonkhet that it was like a cat lord that you like exerted
and made a token
and made a cat? Yeah. So like they've done this before, and like we could be getting to like a critical mass of cats that could like work in say a pioneer as like, you know, a not great tribe.
So the reason that I wanted to do the cards this way, like kind of going through the card file live instead of kind of my pre-scripted whatever, is because I really didn't have a frame of reference for how this card's going to be in standard for 5 years. So especially when you're looking at something like this where the deck kind of demands a critical mass of cats, we're going to have 5 years worth of sets at least where this is going to be legal that we can draw cats from. And the reason why that's kind of important is because like the cat tribe is typically at lower mana values, kind of like elves or goblins, where like that could be a competitive deck. Like if this is the top of your curve and you got a fistful of cats that you're just, plopping out every turn and getting an additional 4 power or 4 worth of stats, 2 power, 2 toughness, like that can snowball super quickly.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, there are 19 cards that say cat on them
Mm-hmm.
in the set, and like, so you have this guy, you have Prideful Parent, like Felidar Cub is just a grizzly bear that also can kill an enchantment.
Yep.
Felidar Retreat makes cats.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Felidar what is this? Felidar Savior is good enough. Like Helpful Hunter is 100% good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to like so like Regal Caracal has been good enough for a while.
Yeah.
Right, like if that's the top end of your curve, right, where you're like you play like 2 of those, is like you just draw them and get to go blah. Um and then this Sky Knight Squire.
Mm-hmm.
1 in the white for a cat scout. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. And as long as this creature has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it has flying and is a knight in addition to its other types.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is, oh gosh, what is it? It had the pun, the Champion of the Parish.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's or the Thraben guy.
Thalia's Lieutenant.
Is it Thalia's Lieutenant?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Puts a counter on all your stuff and then it gets a counter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is the just gets a counter.
Yeah.
Of that card.
Yep.
But you've got 2 cats that curve into it that make 2 bodies.
Yeah.
So like it just goes from a 1/1 to a 3/3.
Mm-hmm.
So they like it feels like they seeded enough cat stuff between Arabo, Prideful Parent, Helpful Hunter, and Sky Knight Squire at like the 2 and 3 mana spot.
Yeah.
Right. That like they gave some 1 mana cats, but like Savannah Lions isn't doing it anymore.
Which is a shame. I mean, I used to play that card in Type 1, which is Legacy.
Yes. Yes. And like Lean in Vanguard is not
I unironically registered a deck with Savannah Lions and Surrender Befreet.
Ooh.
Yep.
And then like Lean in Vanguard is fine.
That card has seen play.
Yeah. So like it feels like they've kind of set it up that you might be where like they might just print cats around the edges.
Yeah.
Over the next few years. And like this deck will be like in standard, but like with like this core.
Yeah.
Right? Arabo, Prideful Parent, and like that stuff. And then they might have better 1-drops. Or they might get better 4-drops to be more mid-rangey. Or there might be some like cat's matter removal spell.
Yeah.
Right? So it seems like they're going to be able to like have this core and then just put in the next couple of sets or over the next few years just a new card in and change the deck. Which, like, if I were selling Magic, right, that's kind of what you'd want to do, right? It's like, hey, you bought Foundations. I gave you 70% of a deck, but the last 30% you have to buy from me every 2 years.
Yep.
What else do we got here? Get out of cat vision here.
About get rid of this one. About this guy.
Who dis?
It's coming, hang on. Valley Rush Banneret. Not that I think this card is particularly good, I just wonder why it's here. It's a 1 and a white for a 2/1 Kithkin Soldier, and Kithkin and Soldier spells you cast cost 1 less.
Well, it did get put on the back burner, but we were supposed to go back to Lorwyn.
That's true, so probably will be some Kithkin coming up, and I think like a lot of the at one point there was a Legacy Soldier deck, right?
Yes, I was gonna tell you that like
Legacy
Soldiers
Stompy
Chalice of the Void allows every try to be playable.
Right.
But yeah, like, you know, you could Valley Rush Banneret and then like Thalia and then something else.
Well, I think if I'm remembering the deck correctly, the deck list that I remember, a lot of the soldiers were Kithkins anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, like anything that like gives you that cost reduction.
Yeah.
Right, like there's a huge difference between a 2-mana Thalia and a 1-mana Thalia.
Definitely.
So, right, like I think in like, you know, with things like Cathar Commando that are like a reasonable card anyway.
Yep.
That you get to flash in for 1 mana, or is the 1 and a white 1/1 that makes a 1/1 is it a soldier as well? I don't know. It's currently in standard. Resolute Reinforcements.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, like you play this and then pass the turn and like put like a ton of flash power on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Like by playing all your manas at like all your cards at half off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resolute Reinforcements, Human Soldier.
Go.
There you go. And it's in this set apparently. We've learned.
I got the next one here. Feel free to chime in if
okay.
You find something. What about this guy? Celestial Armor. 2 and a white for artifact equipment. It has flash, and when it enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. It also gets +2/+0 and has flying and equips for 3 and a white.
Complete and utter blowout in limited.
Definitely.
I've definitely seen some games end with that.
Yeah.
I've been watching some new the Name win boxes in the Arena Direct.
There you go.
I think he won 12 boxes in 12 tries.
Yeah.
It's probably too expensive.
So, like typically when we get a card that does this thing, it's like a 1-mana trick, right? Snakeskin Veil, dive down, whatever. But that's only till end of turn. So I guess, is it worth being a sticky piece of cardboard for 2 mana that you can move to something else later?
It's 3 mana.
Right, but like you would already be paying 1 mana for this effect.
Oh.
So
I see what you're saying.
Is the 2 extra mana worth it sticking around and giving a bonus?
I mean, it's... But like the hexproof and indestructible are only to end of turn, so that's like the same.
Sure.
And like Snakeskin Veil gives you the same number of stats, just distributed a little differently.
Yeah, okay.
Heroic is it heroic reinforced? Not heroic. The 1 in the white gives something like protection from a color, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah.
Feat of Resistance. There we go. Like that's 2 mana and really didn't see play.
Yeah.
So like I think it's close. I mean, the fact that it gives flying.
Yeah.
It gives evasion is kind of a big deal, but
what about is the fact that it's an equipment worth anything?
It could be if there's like if in whatever, I forget the name of the set, whatever the like race set is.
Aether Drift.
I thought it was Aether something. I was like, no, that was Aether Revolt. No, they're just reused. Like if there's like an Artifact Matters deck.
Well, like this is on color for Equipment Matters.
It is.
Like that deck is usually red and white.
So it could, but like the problem is that deck's never really been good and constructed. That deck like barely makes it in limited half the time.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
It's close, but I don't think it quite gets there.
Okie doke.
Womp womp.
What else we got? Got anything to say about Crystal Barricade here?
Crystal. Is that like you have hexproof wall?
Yeah.
So there was a creature that did this. It was like a 2/1. Like from way back in the
Eidolon Rhetoric?
No, it was from that set. Eidolon Rhetoric is like you can't cast more than one
spell.
Yeah. Or you can't like draw more than one card.
Yeah.
I forget. It was like some like muscly looking dude. I mean, maybe, but we have Leyline of Sanctity.
Well, Leyline of Sanctity doesn't have the second line of text here, or I guess the third line of text.
Okay.
Prevents non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. So this would stop like Sweltering Suns or Brotherhood's End or whatever the one in this set is. Slagstorm?
Slagstorm. I mean, that could be good, like... But, like, that feels like you're a creature... Aegis of the Gods.
Yeah. Yep.
You have hexproof, but then it doesn't have the other... So, like, I feel like Aegis of the Gods is better if it has that line of text, right? Because that is usually I'm playing like some sort of like weenie aggressive deck, and I don't want to get 3 mana Wrath.
Yeah.
From the red deck, and like an 0/4 that has that.
Right. You don't. That's not what you're in the market for.
Exactly. Like it's like that line of text goes better on a 2/1.
Yeah.
Or a 3/1 than on an 0/4. I mean, wait. Oh, wait, it prevents it. Is there like a repeatable way to like ping?
Like Pestilence?
Yeah, like swans.
Oh.
Because like, so like swans, you dealt them damage, they like prevented the damage, but then you got to draw a card. Like, is there something like, you know, is there something where you could just commit a bunch of crimes where you just like repeatedly ping something? I don't know if there is.
Yeah, I don't know if there.
But like that like opens you up to like if there's a way to like deal a damage and then like make a loop, you might be able to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, crime would have to be one of your opponent's creatures.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was a weird card.
It is. But it does feel like the stats do not match.
Yeah.
Like that
what
ability.
It's trying
or that
to do.
ability. Yeah, that ability doesn't like match.
All right. I got another one.
Okay.
It's a reprint.
Ah, yes.
We have a cycle of these. There's one of these in each color. They're the color hosers. We'll call them out as we go through. We're on white right now, so the white one is Devout Decree. 1 and a white for a sorcery. Exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red and scry 1. This card definitely saw play when it was legal previously.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a 2 mana kill a Shieldred, 2 mana kill Obnix. It just gets everything.
Yep.
It like I know you're a bit behind, but you get to kill like an Atraxa with it.
Yep.
So yeah, no, this is the kind of card that is simultaneously like a good like safety valve in case like black and red get too good, but also can like be oppressive.
Yeah.
Where like your opponent just has some number of like the literal best removal spell that they could have.
Yeah.
in
Well,
the
I mean, it
sideboard
being
for you.
sorcery speed does take away a little
fair.
bit.
But yeah, I think it's good.
Yep.
Like it's definitely gonna see play.
Yep. All right.
Did you have raise the past?
That was one of the cards I wanted to talk about. I'm
Okay.
not quite there yet. You didn't see anything before then that you wanted to talk about?
Not really.
Not really. There was.
Do you have anything? Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how important it's going to be, but I feel like we should probably talk about this card because people are going to want to hear about it.
Okay. What we got?
Heir Apparent.
Ah, memes.
Yep.
Yes, memes.
1 and a white for a 2/2 Rabbit Noble. When this creature enters, create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to the number of other creatures you control named Heir Apparent. Deck can have any number of cards named Heir Apparent.
So, get them if they're cheap. These cards always end up being like $5 commons.
Yeah.
Because
unless you're Nazgul and they're like $12 uncommons or whatever.
Fair. Because someone is just going to want to play the Heir Apparent Thrumming Stone commander deck.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually pretty nuts with Thrumming Stone.
Yeah. You just like make this army of 2/2s and 1/1s.
Yeah.
No, I think that like
Oswalt Fiddlebender, Thrumming Stone, Heir Apparent.
There you go.
Oswalt you can go get your Thrumming Stone, right?
Yeah, and then you're just like play like a bunch of cats.
Yep.
Or
rabbits.
A bunch of rabbits. Sorry. Yeah. They're multiplying.
They multiply. Yep.
That's just it. Like not a 60 card format card,
yeah, no,
but like
so.
I think definitely commander card. But yeah, like just know these cards always get expensive.
It's probably pretty good and limited too, right? If you can get like 3 or 4 of them.
3 or 4 maybe, yeah. I know that listening to LR that Marshall and Paul Cheon, who is substitute teaching for LSV, was not a fan of this.
Neither one of them were?
Neither one of them, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I do have a random card.
Okay.
Joust Through.
Okay. That one wasn't on my radar.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this card a lot.
Okay.
Okay. So Joust Through is white for an instant. Joust Through deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. You gain 1 life.
Okay.
So a current sideboard card in standard right now is Elspeth's Smite, which is Elspeth's Smite deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead.
Okay.
So it has the exile clause on it. And then, do you remember Knockout Blow?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Knockout Blow is 2 and a white. For an instant, it costs 2 less to cast. If it targets a red creature, destroy target tapped creature, you gain 2 life.
Okay.
So, like, in Explorer/Pioneer, I read the arena version. Let me read the real version. Sorry. It's because I was like, I don't think it's that good. Knockout Blow deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and you gain 2 life.
Okay.
So, Joust Through deals 1 less damage.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. But it always costs 1 mana.
Right.
Right? Like, I found myself with, like, playing decks with Knockout Blow in the sideboard. And being like, man, I'm playing this, like, mono white, like, humans aggro deck.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish I could cast my Knockout Blow on the first 2 turns of the game.
Yeah.
Right? And I couldn't. But, like, but Elspeth's Smite doesn't gain you the life.
Right.
Right? So, like, Joust Through is in that, like, happy medium where it's gaining you 1 life. It's still going to kill most everything out of a red deck that you bring in Knockout Blow for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to get things in like the white decks, like, you know, it can't kill Adeline.
Yeah.
But like if you're spending your entire turn 3 to kill an attacking Adeline that has already tokens,
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, son. Like, right? So like this could be a card that like could take some of those Knockout Blow spots where it's still good against like Rakdos pump spells
Mm-hmm.
in Pioneer, which is what Knockout Blow is for.
Yep.
But then it also gets extra coverage if you play against like one of the white, like the white aggressive decks, or someone gets frisky in their like mono green deck and they like attack with their elf.
Right.
Right. Like their turn 2 is like Wolf Willow Haven, attack with my elf, and you're just like,
get them.
Yeah. Where I don't know if you'd bring it in that situation. Maybe you're just like, I've got some terrible cards.
Yeah.
Or like some like mono blue terrible tempo deck, or like spirits.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Right? Like you can't bring in Knockout Blow against spirits.
Right.
But this can come in and like pick off a good number of the spirits that they'd be attacking you with.
Mm-hmm.
And then like now you're forcing them to spend their mana on their turn to protect their thing. So I just thought it was interesting that it's like part Knockout Blow, part Elspeth Smite, and
but
like is always on.
Yeah.
Where Knockout Blow isn't. That's all. Me and my uncommons.
Yeah, no problem. I like the uncommons. We already kind of mentioned Prideful Parent.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of... Oh, no, that's not the one you're... So Raise the Past is next?
Raise the Past, yeah. I don't know if... So Raise the Past, we'll get it up on the screen here, but Raise the Past is 2 white for a sorcery, and is return all creatures with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it is some mashup of
Return to the Ranks and Rally.
Mm-hmm. Where like Rally, like it's like X target creatures 2 or less. No, Rally is just X white. Bring them all back for X or less.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? You just said
Return to the Ranks.
Convoke. Return to the Ranks is X target creatures with mana value 2 or less.
Yeah.
Like, so this is kind of like Rally, but sorcery speed.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you only ever cast Rally for X equals 2.
Well, I mean, back in the day we cast it for 3 because you wanted to get your husk back.
Fair. But like you can but then like is it better than March? No, whatever it's called. Why can I remember cards? Don't get old.
Return
people.
to the Ranks.
Return to the Ranks. Don't get old. This is the lesson. Because like it has Convoke, so like I've definitely played it when I had like no mana.
Yeah.
And just tapped a bunch of creatures. But like this could open up, like I was messing around that zombie deck where you like fill your graveyard and then like bring everything back.
I mean, this is better than, like, we were playing Dawn Dusk in that deck, and this is better than Dawn Dusk in that deck, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think I was playing Dawn Dusk because we didn't have Return to the Ranks.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Or we didn't have Rally. We were missing one of them.
Yeah.
And like Dawn Dusk was like the next best thing. But like, yeah, like, do 12 effects make it better? Like, could you play all 12?
I don't think you could play all 12.
Like, is it number 10? Like, is there like
maybe?
Is there like, you know, does having an extra amount of this like free up some deck? But like, as much as I like graveyard decks, I've also been burnt too many times with like, oh hey, Greasefang is a deck, and some people just wake up in the morning and go like, I'm not going to lose to a graveyard deck.
Yeah.
And so then they like don't lose to a graveyard deck, and you're like, oh, I could games 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't know. It's interesting. Like they definitely keep messing with this effect. Like they don't want to do like, they can't say artifacts because that's just like a nightmare.
Right.
Right. But like
that breaks every older.
Mm-hmm. But like we're also getting to the point where we have enough creatures that do dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, some of them they have like the 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 1/1 first striker, like the red card that's also like a treasure.
Oh
Bone
yeah,
Hound.
yeah,
Right, like it has tap on it, so you can't like just abuse it and like loop it. But like they have enough creatures that do just like random things that you just sacrifice and it does a thing.
mm-hmm.
That a card like this might get to the point where there's enough like nonsense.
Sure.
Where there's enough creatures that kind of are eggs.
Yeah.
That, you know, or you know, you have your blood artist, not your what's the other guy? Visceraseer.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and you're like, well, I'm gonna sack all my dogs and cats that drew me cards when they came into play.
Mm-hmm.
And have my blood artist and then loop it again. I'm gonna like draw 10 cards.
So that's kind of an interesting thing also, is what if you were like Mardu with Zulaport Cutthroat, whatever blood artist effect you can jam in there, and then have like Insolent Neonates and Fanatical Firebrands that just sacrifice themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, where you just kind of like are. Oh, that's interesting. Where you just like where they are just the eggs and like
Right.
Fanatical Firebrand has haste, so you can like tap it.
Yeah.
And do it. Yeah, like maybe. Like, and they gave us a new blood artist in this set.
Yeah.
And there's like the black white blood artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have Judith and like have your like backup like get in there plan. Maybe.
And
where you're like,
yeah,
you just
the
have
only
enough
thing with
creatures
Judas
that
is
are eggs.
like this wouldn't bring Judith back, and like
Yeah.
all of the other cards, this would bring back.
Mm-hmm. But like you just have enough creatures that become eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that could work. And then like you have if you had some sacrifice outlet as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like then cards like Burglar Rat and like
Sure.
Like where you're just like playing garbage cards. They're like, but like you're getting a card and drawing a card, and then you just like bring them all back.
Yeah.
But like you have the like B plan of like reasonable, non-embarrassing beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. They need to make a zombie that sacrifices itself, and I can go back and play my zombie.
There you go.
Or like a zombie that like eats things for free.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming, I'm sure.
Well, we have a 1-mana zombie that eats things in this set, right?
I think it costs 1 mana, right?
Yeah, 1 mana eat things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not free. There's a big difference between free and 1 mana, but 1 mana is better than 2 mana.
True. Yeah, but like if you just had some way to like, again, like the half joking, like, are they gonna have like the black white like blood artist that also like has a free sacrifice outlet on it?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, oh, there we go, we did it. Zombie bad design. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else for white here?
I do not. We are an hour 15 in.
We are. You mentioned Sky Knight Squire earlier. Do we need to touch on that, or you think we're good there?
I think we're good. Like,
Stasis Snare was the other card I was kind of interested in talking about. Just because of how fantastic it was last time we had it.
Mm-hmm. Like, it is an instant speed removal spell.
Yep. 1 white enchantment with flash, and it's a O-ring basically.
All right, unrelated to the playability of said card.
Sure.
How do we feel about the Nyx frame on everything?
I don't hate it. I didn't think I was gonna like it at first, but I don't mind it.
Okay, it's fine. I'm not like a huge fan, but it's like okay, whatever. Okay, here's one. Is Twin Blessing good? Or can it be good?
Well, we've had different versions of this, right? This isn't the first time we've had.
I think they've all been like 2 and a white sorcery speed give double strike. Like,
Oh,
just
that's
giving
true.
this
This has flash, yeah.
Like, is like it as a combat trick / like surprise way to kill your opponent.
Oh, so that's interesting because like this would be a combat trick that's not as affected by the rules change.
I guess it would be. I think offensive combat tricks get better and defensive combat tricks get worse. With the rules change,
No,
right?
I think all combat tricks just get worse.
Because like you block, and now they don't know which one you want to kill. And then if you play a combat, like, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like offensive combat tricks, I think stay the same.
Yeah, and defensive ones get worse.
But a defensive combat trick that would give either first strike or double strike wouldn't. Would it be? I guess it's still not great, but might be potentially better than like a just +2/+2 or whatever. You know what I mean? Because then you're not monkeying with the numbers, you're monkeying with timing, and timing's a little bit harder to account for, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, like, okay, and then but you still get, like, with the rules change, you still get to, like, you could in theory respond to first strike damage. Still, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird. How does that work?
Because like you could deal first strike damage and then like use your trick.
So if you were attacking with a creature with double strike, you would assign all of your damage up front? Or all of your damage?
It would go twice, right? Like now we gotta get on there with Sparky.
Yeah.
But like it would do it twice, right? You would like
I don't know if it would or not. Would you have to pick it all during first strike?
Well, you would only pick the damage that you were assigning during first. So you would like, you know, if you had a 2/2 double striker,
oh, that's true.
Like,
yeah,
you'd put like the 2 that you did.
Yeah.
And then you go to regular damage and do 2 more.
Yeah.
But like, imagine a situation where like you have a 3/3 and a 2/2, right? And you double block and your opponent's like whack the 3/3, and then you like use a combat trick as a defensive player, and now they have to like change where they're putting the damage.
Yeah.
Because they can't kill the first thing.
Right.
Right? Like they get to change where before they would just like lose their creature.
Yeah.
Now they still get to get something.
Yeah.
This is weird. I don't like it.
It is very weird. Not intuitive wizards.
It worked for 30 years.
Yeah.
Gen Alpha with their brain rot, not being able to follow simple instructions.
All right.
Skibbity Ohio rules.
Whatever. I think anything else that we had in here is already a reprint. Anything else that's worth talking about?
Yeah.
Valorous Stance was fine. Youthful Valkyrie was good.
Mm-hmm. Like Youthful Valkyrie has like a pioneer home.
Yeah.
Zapalta, they keep printing this card and it's just there for like the memes and like meme decks.
Oh, I have absolutely died to a Zapala before.
Oh yeah. Same.
All right. Well, let's call it after White, and
we can blue it up next week.
Next week we'll blue it.
We blew it. We'll blow it on Monday. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Monday.
Monday. All right. So with that, I think we got a show.
We have a show.
If you want to reach out to us on social media, tell us what blue cards we should talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to us on social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, email. All those links in the description. Again, perhaps one day we'll be in the blue sky, but right now, that's where we are.
Yeah, if you want to support the show, you can hit us up on patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, support the show, get access to more content in the form of show notes and our unshow. Every week we record our whatever ramblings we have before the show starts when we're making sure our equipment works, and we pipe it into our patrons' ear holes. So if you're interested in getting that, or if you just want to support the show, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. You can also support us via our TCG Player affiliate link. If you're buying cards on TCG Player, we would appreciate it if you used our link, CasualTryhard.com/TCG. Anything you purchase after using that link will help to support the show. Help us out.
Yeah.
We'd appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internets. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Because this will come out on Thanksgiving.
It will. I'll try to get out early for your ride there.
Yep.